Recording has started.
We're live.
Hey, Star Wars fans and Rule the Galaxy friends. It is Joe in the pilot seat of Chapter 379 of the Rule the Galaxy podcast. It's going to be fun tonight. We've got plenty to talk about. We've got Maul. We've got Mando. We've got Celebration. We've got Mark Hamill making news. Who would think that Mark Hamill would make news? But I've got most of my regular crew here before we go around the horn and say hey to everybody. Always like and subscribe to us on YouTube, which you're doing right now if you're watching us. Also, subscribe to us anywhere on any podcast platform of choice. Heck, we've been doing it 379 times. You'd think you'd be subscribing already. And if you have any comments, questions, we're doing a live chat during the YouTube channel. And you can always email us at ruletheGalaxySW@gmail.com. So let's whip it around the room. The last time with the Maul background here. And D-Doc, with all your efforts you've made on thumbnails and backgrounds, I'm going to start off with you. How you doing, brother?
That means that if you wanted to start listening to Rule the Galaxy podcast, you can listen to one episode a day for over a year. You could go into year 2 with some fresh episodes still coming in. So, if you guys haven't listened to us yet, now is the time to catch up. You got a year. One episode a day. Time. Lock in.
That's right.
But yeah, I'm doing good. You know how it is. It's just busy time of year, kids activities. We got some activities starting to wrap up with summer approaching. I was picking up my preschooler the other day and her teacher gave me her little sleeping mat and was like, we're going to just slowly start to send, some stuff home. And I'm just like, in my mind, I immediately thought like, isn't it a little early? And I'm like, oh God, wait, I'm like, school's going to be done in like a month.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah, the year is flying by. Flyers are in the playoffs right now, so I will try not to be too distracted, but I'm happy to be on here talking about this Maul finale.
You got it. We got chapters 9 and 10, which are really fun. Lots of things going on. We'll get to both of those. We have so many other things to talk about because my good friend Brent, who we went and saw the Mandalorian and Grogu snippet the other day at the AMC Theater on the south side of Indianapolis. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. I'm going to see if I can get this on here because I'm actually kind of proud of this guy.
It looks great.
And then if I can get him around to where you can actually see like the goggles in the face.
Oh, that looks perfect. You have the perfect green color for those goggles, Brent.
I know, right? Like I think that is what like makes it even. It looks gorgeous. Like the goggles make it look even better.
For those of you who are listening on the podcast, you missed it on the YouTube channel. Brent is showing some of his Star Wars Legion, and he had, I'm guessing, Luke on a Tauntaun from
that
Hoth.
was not Luke. They do, by the way. That is a unit that was just released like maybe 2 weeks ago. They have Luke and Han on Tauntaun, so the nickname is a Hantan for the Han on Tauntaun, so he's a Hantan. But they also released like updated Rebel veterans, and so I'm showing off like that's kind of where I'm at. Lighting is not the greatest for the YouTubes, but yeah. Let's see, where am I at other than just being the nerd about painting and stuff? Met Jason Hatfield, right?
Jason Hatfield.
Was it?
Yeah.
Met him. We were recognized in public. He joined. He joined the conversation and joined the group, waiting in line. Doc, if you want to know somebody who's almost a carbon copy of our friend Joe, it's Hatfield. So you want to talk about an Energizer Bunny? You want to talk about somebody who is boundless with energy? I think they are kindred spirits.
Love it.
Maybe not brothers law like from another mother, but they are definitely kindred spirits.
He was rocking a pretty badass RTG baseball shirt.
Yeah,
the 3/4 sleeve.
That was a gift from me. Yes.
Yeah, I was the only one. I was the only one not wearing one because, let's be honest, I'm too fat for the shirt. So we'll work on that.
I was sitting with Meg that night, and I went on Twitter, and I saw the pictures of you guys there, and I said to Meg, I was like, the whole crew got to go and see a Mandalorian and Grogu preview today. The whole podcast did. And she was like, Well, you could have went and saw that today. I was like, I didn't get tickets. It was an exclusive event, and they're in Indianapolis. It's exclusive.
Did yours not do it?
So, the King of Prussia movie theater, which is up by Joe, my brother, about 45 minutes or so away, they had tickets, but by the time I clicked the link, that was sold out. So, I don't know if I would have been able to swing going to it anyway, but I would have figured out a way.
It was a good time. We got to I've got some stories from it. Brent does too. So you know what? Before we start into the other rigmarole of the show, let's start with the Mando Grogu event that we did get to go to. Brent, let's throw some stories out there. Not only was Jason Hatfield with us, we had a great time with Jason. D-Doc, you did miss out on us having some icy lights in the parking lot.
Oh, nice.
I said we tailgated. I said there was a little bit of tailgating earlier off the show. I don't know if I said it on there, but like there's a little bit of tailgating. And,
you guys lived out a viral tweet from this week, and I retweeted it. It said people should start tailgating before movies in the parking lot.
We did it.
Without reading the tweet, that happened.
Yeah. I would have paid for like a mall cop to like roll up to you guys. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Well,
awesome.
You know what? I'll hop in because my story is really short and sweet about that. One, we had a good time. We met some friends of ours that we met at a toy drop parking lot sale. I bought a Y-wing from this gentleman at that sale, and we got to talk to them. They're friends with my uncle Matt. And then I saw a guy walk by, and the shirt said Fantha Tracks on it. So as you guys know, I do a monthly show with Mark and Mark from Fantha Tracks and Making Tracks. And so I went up to him, and his name is Ross, and he's a really good guy. He goes by Popstar Indie on Instagram, and he's going to be a guest on the show coming up soon. But he does some interaction and work with Fantha Tracks. So how weird is that I was wearing my Rule the Galaxy shirt, he was wearing his Fantha Tracks shirt, and we got to meet up at a Star Wars event. So that was really cool.
How weird is that somebody who's a Star Wars fan that's willing to go to Japan to go to see Star Wars and sell Star Wars toys is at an exclusive event for Star Wars?
Yeah.
It is a small world situation, though. If you connect the dots with the special Fantha Tracks show and everything, it works out.
It does. We're in Indy. But you know what? Brent has two stories, one about Huts and one about guests sitting behind him. So, Brent, I'm going to let you take the stage on this one.
Those are the people you would expect to see at the place. Like, I'm not being like jerky. I guess I'm probably coming off as jerky, but like shocking that we see those people at this event. Right? Shocking.
Yes.
So, Doc, you missed. When I want to say like you didn't miss much from the screening that we went to go see, you missed about 25 minutes. Right. So that's about as much as you missed. That's about what we got to see. A little bit of the detail. Out of those 25 minutes, I think I've said it to other people, probably 20 of those minutes have shown up. I feel like 20 of those minutes have shown up in most of the other released materials. The thing that helps with this is these are in order and they give context. So there's a little bit of a context, but not enough for you to say, oh, I know where the story is going, or I know this or that detail, because there's still a lot left to be said and a lot left to the imagination. I'm still not positive that this is like the cold open start of the show. I think this may even be towards the middle, but there is a lot of it. Like, I don't know. I still think that there's a potential that there is more prior to what we saw, right?
Interesting.
There's no guarantee that this is the first 25 minutes in my mind, but it came across. I mean, they had like a little bit of it. Wasn't a scrawl or a scroll, but it was like some words come across the screen. But
now, do they play the Mandal? Now, this is mini spoilery, I guess, but do they play the Mandalorian theme while the scroll is up?
I'll be honest with you. I was so focused on reading what the scroll said,
too.
And you know who I am. You know I'm like, that's lost on me. I will say that there was a big point on like the screen to say that
Mhm.
Ludwig Göransson is the composer for it. So like his name showed up a couple times. Like it was like, and it is within the Mando world as far as all of the music. It's gonna sound like the Mando show. So I can't tell you off the top of my head if that specifically was played during the scrawl or whatever the heck you want to call it. It looked like Solo. You know how Solo came up with that like green heading, kind of like the Clone Wars did with that green heading, but it wasn't green heading.
Yes.
But it was just kind of like words on the screen. So I was focused reading, just trying to see what it was saying. So Joe, what do you remember it playing the theme?
I think it had kind of like the kind of background music you have when he's walking, things like that. It wasn't the overall main theme, but it was kind of background music from what I can remember, leading you into it. So I don't remember it overall, but I just have a feeling that's kind of what it was, kind of music to prep you for what's coming next.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that wasn't the main. The music wasn't kind of the main star of what we saw. Like I don't think it was.
No.
No, but it was there. It was fun, and like I said, you could tell it was the Mandalorian. Like you could tell it was from the Mandalorian. The music was from the Mandalorian.
Did now with you saying most of what you saw is in the trailer for it? Did you see the AT-AT scene in the preview? Was it like the full?
Yeah.
Did they establish what planet that is? Did they say if it's Hoth?
They didn't say a planet. So no, I don't think it was Hoth. Like I honestly, from what you saw, I
me
do
either.
not think that was Hoth at all.
Okay.
I think it was just it just happened to be a snowy planet.
Correct.
Okay. Cool.
I could stand corrected, but from what I saw, I did not read Hoth from that based upon the scenes that were connected with it.
So I think two of the things that Brent is trying to maybe hold his tongue on. One,
yeah, I'm trying not to spoil all of what's going on with it, but like I said,
absolutely no, I don't want. Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want.
We're at a point we can talk. Can we talk about a scene we saw, or should we just bypass that completely?
I mean, the scene was in one of the previews. There's more to it, but the scene was in one of the previews.
No, but I'm saying the scene that we haven't talked about yet.
The huts.
The huts in
I'm gonna get to that eventually.
Okay,
but
all right.
Do you want me to jump right to that one?
I mean, that and hearing about the lady who wouldn't shut up behind you the whole time because.
But I was trying to like give my overall, man, and we have questions.
Right.
Doc
let's wrap our tails around that scene. Let's hear about it.
If the doc wants to know, the doc wants to know.
Oh shoot!
Joe wants me to jump to the one scene that was one of the scenes that you haven't seen yet. You are taken to. They bring back the twins, which you had from I think season 2. They are on their home planet of Nal Hutta, and you
do get to see Nal Hutta. Yes,
you do get to see Nal Hutta. So they fly in through Nal Hutta, and they land, and then he gets like shown the way to their chamber, the twins' chamber. As he's walking through the twins' chamber, it is like an underground wormhole. Which you can think of with like slugs and I did not mean to say this, Joe.
Slug huts. I like it. That's all. Slug
huts. That's where the Freudian slip came from.
Yes.
Hut sluts.
Which is also what I'm going to lead to, because as they're walking through these little slug pathways, you look in, the camera pans into one of these little nooks and crannies, and it appears that there are 3 to 4 hut heads interwoven together in what could be best described as a hut orgy.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Now, what's the deal with the lady behind you now, too? Does that intertwine with this scene?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. Because here's the thing. But Joe wanted me to tell that story. Like I had to like I was gonna get to it, but Joe wanted me to jump right to it.
I mean, we called it. We've been asking questions, and you know they listen to this. Lucasfilm listens to this podcast, and They're giving us answers.
I mean, Joe, can you give any did I do it justice? Did
No,
you say
I
anything different?
love the terminology. That was great. There were a couple different nooks and crannies, and there were it looked like they were coming out of a brothel, a drug den. I mean, they were, yeah,
or like an upside down pineapple club. It's
Yes.
a little it might not land with all of the youngins. You might have to explain to little Doc
Right. Correct.
what's going on there, and I'm just giving you ample time to prepare your answer.
It is PG-13.
I'm just gonna say that the Huts are cold-blooded and they need to stay close to stay warm. There you go.
There you go. Because when he gets to the hut with the twins, they're intertwined as well. They're kind of like right on top of each other. They're not quite as they were in the room that when you walk past it, but they do have a little bit of that going on. So as Star Wars fans do. So we're gonna have to hit the rewind button after we get there in the parking lot, right? Because the pregame for movies. Star Wars fans get to things early because that's just what we do. We stand in line. We're worried that somebody's going to be so long. So the thing didn't start till 7 o'clock in the evening. We get there at 5. We drink in the parking lot with some icy lights and hang out in the parking lot and meet Joe's counterpart, the long lost Energizer Bunny friend. And we then go in, so we sit out there for like a half an hour, but it is also a little bit chilly in the spring. So Joe's like, let's go inside. So we go inside and stand in line for another, I don't know, hour.
Sure.
We still got an hour and a half until the show. Right? So I guess Michael Jackson was playing on the screen prior to The Mandalorian, so they had to let that one out. So then once that one let out, then they let us go and take our seats. But we're still in the theater in our seats about an hour and a half before the show. And Joe, the one thing I noticed is they didn't, more people didn't stream in, really.
No.
The people that were in line were the ones, the people that were coming were also, worried, and they're, an hour and a half, 2 hours early. Right? There weren't a lot that, came in last minute.
I would say it was probably 60% full, about maybe.
Oh yeah. And we're talking. We were talking in the AMC IMAX theater.
Yeah.
Which is one of the bigger theaters because it's made for IMAX and it's a bigger theater. So, yeah, they were easily probably 100, 150. There.
That's awesome.
One of which was very enthusiastic about being an influencer. Her whole life was about being an influencer. And it was everything that I hate about the influencer culture. And she did nothing but talk about, I'm going to try to do it justice, but I don't know if I can do it justice. Because
wait, can I do a guess before?
Sure.
Oh my God, guys. So we're in line for Mandalorian and Grogu. We're about to get in our seats. The screen is on. No, it's not one of those. Okay.
No, because I could understand that.
Yeah.
This was her just talking to her boyfriend off camera.
Oh.
And it was about being an influencer.
Okay.
And there was a conversation. If she's listening. So how did it go? It was there's these influencers, and they just adopted May the 4th. This is me. This is my personality. I don't like these guys that just jump on the bandwagon. It's kind of like when you jump on the bandwagon for a sports team, but they're jumping on the bandwagon for Star Wars Day. It's May the 4th. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is part of me, and you're just going to jump on the bandwagon for that? And you're going to show off all these things. And I'm I got to make all these reels because they gave me all of this stuff, but I can't do everything in one day. They gave me the stuff, and everything arrived on May the 4th because, it's May the 4th. But how many reels do you put out on May the 4th? I can only do one thing at a time. I'm I did like 2 reels and an Instagram post, and I'm wearing the shirt now, and I got to go get pictures out in the hallway. When this is over, we got to go pictures in the hallway. And she didn't. It was that fast. It was. And she's like, there was another one that was like, oh, and like the internet just like makes me laugh sometimes. It's like here's a reel. It's like it's got like 6,000 views, and it's literally just our television, our big screen TV. It's like literally our big screen TV, like 6,000 views. The internet's so crazy. It's like, why are you looking at my TV, lady? Why did you put your TV out there?
The funny thing is me and Jason were at the other end because it was me and Jason. It was Alfie and his 2 kids, and it was Brent. Well, Alfie, Brent, and Alfie's son were sitting in front of this lady, but Jason and I had no idea this was going on. And we get out in the hallway afterwards, and Alfie's son just goes, "Who the F was behind us?" And I was like, "What is going on?" And then, so it became a whole thing. And then we saw her scurrying around to take her pictures afterwards. And, she was way into it. She was way into it. So
I mean, she was a huge Star Wars fan. To me, it's not taking anything away from her being a Star Wars fan.
No,
to me, it is taking away that like for about an hour, all I heard about how much like she loved being an influencer and how much she wanted to make sure that she was always on Disney's good side, so that she can continue to get the products. And she's like, people ask me what I do, and it's like people just give me stuff and I put it on the internet. I don't know how to explain it to them.
She must be pretty good at whatever she does if she's getting free stuff.
But is she like
now, Brent? That's where you got to turn around and say, "Hey, what do we got to do to get some free stuff?"
No.
If I would have known, I would have said, "Here's my card. We run Rule the Galaxy podcast. Why don't you come on and talk to everybody about what you do?"
Joe,
it's called marketing, networking.
Yeah, it's also called. You would not have been able to get a word in edgewise if she was on.
Did she see
when
the
I tell you
the gear at all, or no?
We all had
I
it all.
tell you, she didn't stop for an hour and a half. Her boyfriend was like, "Stop! You're being annoying right now," and she kept going.
Oh, even
okay, there we go.
Oh my God!
It was just it added to it though, right? But
yeah,
now to go back to the Star Wars. But you've seen previews and you've seen all of that stuff. You got the huts. Like the hut scene is probably one of the new scenes. There were, like I said, there were contexts. There were things that were made. You get to see how he procured the new Razor Crest. You get to see a little bit of our friend from Rebels, and you don't necessarily see how they are, but you get to see the friend from Rebels a little bit. Steve Blum, otherwise known as Zeb. But yeah, like, I mean,
did they show the N1 at all in it? N1 Starfighter?
Not that we saw.
Because my brother asked me, he was like, did the N1 blow up at the end of season 3 of Mando? And I was like, I don't think it did.
I don't think it did either. I just
no, because Zeb picked him up in a U-wing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And brought him back to U-wing.
You've seen that scene before, but you don't know who's flying it. But now, right? Like, so like I said, like it is focused on the previews. But there's also the scene from like outside of the facility where Mando and Grogu pop up and they got the binoculars. That didn't show up. So that's still out there. So that's what makes me think that this could also be like the next scene. Like that scene could be the intro scene, like the 007. So like the scene with him popping up and looking at it, or they could then move on from what we saw to that scene, and what we saw was like the 007 pre-credit scene.
Interesting.
I could dig that. No, look, overall, it was just fun again to be at a theater to see a Star Wars event. It was fun to be around Star Wars fans, to have interactions with people, and to just have a little fun, get away from the regular world. It was a good time, and it made me excited to go see the movie this coming Thursday, the 21st, I believe. So I'm going to throw it out there. D-Duck, I think you're planning to go see it in the afternoon, possibly. So you will have seen it. Brent and I will see it at like 6 or something like 6:30. But I'm wondering if we should just go ahead and finish the night with a recap show, because I'm sure young David would maybe like to give his 2 cents worth
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, here's what I thought of it." And actually, Mrs. Molinaro, the lovely uh, bride of mine, said she would even like to come on and give her 2 cents worth as a non-Star Wars fanatic like us. She said I would be more than happy to come on and say, "Hey guys, here's my thoughts on the movie." And
We
I
go
said,
large panel show.
"Heck yeah, large panel,
I love it.
yeah."
I like the idea of that.
So that's what we're looking at for that. But overall, Brent, I think you'd agree. It was just fun. D-Doc, there's so many times where I'm like, "Oh, man, I wish D-Doc was here." And I know logistically we cannot all do that, and that's why it's difficult for us to plan. But yeah, it's just with all of us sitting there, it's like, man, it feels like the crew's together. And then I was like, man, I can't wait for some time we can get everybody together. Because
know.
officially, I don't think we've ever had all 4 of us at one place at one time.
I actually don't think we have. It's usually a mixture of us.
Yes.
We've had multiple mixes. We've had me, you, and Alfie. We've had me, Brent, and Alfie.
Yep. We've had me, Alfie, and Brent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it just hasn't looped all 4 of us together at once. That's why I'm trying to find still something before Star Wars Celebration, which we'll talk about in a few. Before then, do I say, how do we sneak a weekend where we get somewhere and hang out the 4 of us actually together? So that's something we'll put on the back burner, but keep looking for something like that. Before we get in everything else, I'm going to get on a little bit of a soapbox, and then I'm just going to see what happens. If anybody is listening, if anyone listens to the podcast, if anybody wants to comment, if anyone wants to say I'm wrong, fine, so be it. I'll be wrong. But here's what I'll say. We are truly blessed to live in the country we live in. In this country, we are allowed to say pretty much anything we want to say, except fire in a crowded theater or something like that. And there's a few select words that are not thought very well of in this society that we can't say out loud. And most of us wouldn't say them anyway, but there are certain things we cannot say in the community we live in. But one thing that I am tired of, and one thing that I'm going to say used to make me very mad, but I had some deep thoughts on it this afternoon. It doesn't make me mad. What it does is it makes me feel sorry for people. And it's hard for me to think that there's people out there that get fired for saying one thing and people who aren't fired for saying another. And then I started to think to myself, am I really that worried about it? Should it affect my life that way? And the end result is no. I've got a lovely wife of 35 years, 3 children, 3 dogs, 3 grandchildren with 1 on the way. I live a really good life. And what happens really to 99% of the people in the world doesn't really ever affect me. So I shouldn't let these other things affect me. But I'm going to give a shout out to, or a comment on this. Dear Mr. Hamill, you have a problem. Once you admit that you have the problem, that's the first way to solve the problem. Let it go, dude. Millions of people around this world love you. They worship you. They idolize you. You are a part of so many people's youth growing up and somebody that they respect. Focus on that. If you've got to focus on this crap that you're focusing on, you've got a problem. You have a wife. You have kids. Focus on that. If you've got to worry about some guy who has orange skin and a comb over, you got a problem. And you know what? I'm not going to worry about you anymore. I've found I'm a fairly conservative man, heterosexual Christian conservative man. So I have certain thoughts in my world. And you know what? Many people in the entertainment industry think the exact opposite the way I think. But I have, for majority of my 54 years, separated out their art and them as a person. And that's the only way you can make it through. I love certain people's music who probably, if they met me, would hate me. I've watched people's movies who, if I met them face to face, they wouldn't want to have any part of me. But I respect what they do, their art, their performance, you know? So I don't have time for it anymore. But I will say, Mark, Mr. Hamill, Luke Skywalker, the person that so many people grew up with and said, I want to be that farm boy from Tatooine. You now are making yourself a joke to society. Let it go. Focus on the fans. Focus on making money. Focus on your family. You probably don't have faith. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Focus on being a good person. If you have to take this much time to hate someone, there's an issue there. So that's it. That's all. I'm going to let it go. But I had to say it because I grew up looking at this guy like, that's the kind of guy I want to be. And now that I see he's this old and he's doing this, I think that's the kind of guy I don't want to turn out to be. So, Mark, love you, man. Get some help. May the force be with you. That's all I got.
So you wanted to be Luke Skywalker. You didn't want to be Mark Hamill.
No, and I agree. It's a dichotomy. I didn't want to be Mark Hamill, but it was one and the same as a child, as growing up.
For sure, right? Like, and I'm not going to take that away, but like what I'm saying is now, looking back, you wanted to like looking at it now, you can separate who they are from what they are. Stupid dogs. Sorry.
Yep.
I'll go like what you were saying. One of the things that kind of resonated with me was Michael Jackson. The movie came out, and I think it was number one on the box office, right? Like, I don't know how much money it made, but I think it was either 1 or 2 in the box office. And I was told that like people that like the music really like the movie. 10 years ago, that dude was a pariah, and you didn't want to touch him. You didn't want to do anything. 10 years before that, he was a superstar, and everybody wanted to be around him.
Yep.
Right? So there's this ebb and flow of they're not like this normally, are they?
Your terrorists are out.
Oh no, that's not usual to hear a bark from the Dykeman residents.
I mean, they're on a whole nother level right now. I don't know what's going on. I apologize. I might have to mute, but sorry. I was in the middle of like basically saying that like we have this ebb and flow, and like like you wanted, like you have to separate the person from the character. You have to separate the person from the art, and that's hard to do, especially if you're like Doc Jr.'s, right? Like, and like Doc Jr. has to teach sometimes, like, right? Like one of the greatest quotes when I was a kid, I don't even know if Doc would even know with it, when Charles Barkley said, "I'm not a role model."
Yep.
Because it forced the conversation with people, and people will get lost their mind. What do you mean you're not a role model? Kids look up to you. But he's like, no, they shouldn't like look up to me because I do stupid things. Like, he was being honest about it. Like, don't use me as the person because I will do something stupid. Look up to people like that, like your parents and stuff like that. It was what he was trying to say. But like, yeah, like we can't, like we look up to people that like we shouldn't. The other thing that I will also say, and I'll let Doc react to what you have to say, is get off social media. All of us. Society is in 100%. General. So go back to my girl who's an influencer. I hate everything about what she was talking about because it's not important.
No.
Yet there's this feeling that it is.
No, it's true.
And so that's my soapbox from what I heard you say is like, if we just step back from placing value in social media, I think our society can heal. But we can't because we put so much stock in our identity. We put so much stock in our personal feelings, and we compare ourselves to each other from this fakeness that somebody else put out there. Because they might be going through a divorce, but they looks like on social media that they have a great life. And I'm comparing my life that's crappy to somebody who's going through this stuff on social media who's got a crappy life also. They're just trying to project because they're trying to hide their crappy life, and their social media in like presence is what makes them feel better about themselves and their crappy life. But people don't take the time to look at it in that perspective. They just see the crappy life, and they want to like, they just see their crappy life, and I want to be them. I want to be them. So anyway, so that's what I heard. And I'll just say, get off social media. Everyone, right? Like, Doc, what do you have to say? And I'll turn it over to you to react. What do you have to say about Twitter? Every time you go on Twitter, like, it's a dumpster fire. But Doc,
It
what do you
is.
have to say about Joe?
It's getting worse.
No, it's a dumpster fire, and it's getting worse. And that's why I took it off of my home screen recently, because I felt like, and whether we like it or not, politics are ingrained in our society the way things are now. And I think what Joe said is very reasonable, and I don't even think it should be looked at in any type of political way. Really, it's pretty much just I don't know. Hamill has lost it. And anyone who doesn't understand what Joe's referencing, he shared a picture of an edited picture of the president buried in the ground with a death date and everything on it, and said "if only" or something like that, which is like, it's just like, come on, you don't like the guy, don't like him. That's totally fine. But showing like, it's just weird. That's where it gets to the point where it's just like, dude, you got too much time on your hands or something. Like, go out and, as the people say, touch grass. I don't know. It's just crazy. That guy could have everything going on for him, and he's really obsessive about it. And I don't know that. I don't know. Either way, I really liked what Joe said. I really can't ever have a soapbox statement comparable to what Joe said there. So that was just impressive. And I'll leave it at that. Brent's right about the social media, though. When I took a break, because the reason I took a break was everything with that war in Iran started. And I was reading stuff every day. And I'm just like, I don't really like this much. And I feel like this is going to be really bad. And it's going to be really bad. It's going to be really bad. And I'm like, if I'm logging on to Twitter multiple times a day, and each time I'm on it, reading things that make me say this is really bad, maybe I should just stop doing it and just let it happen. Because what is me reading it going to do? Sure, I might be staying informed, kind of. But yeah. So the break from Twitter was cleansing, because I don't really know what's going on, and I don't care, actually. So
shocking.
And that's a good point.
Your life goes on, and everything goes the way, like, not everything goes the way you want it to, but your life goes on.
Yes,
it does. And you know what, fellas? Honestly, I know I was ranting. I didn't know that came out until, I think, Joey, my son, who obviously makes his living on social media, as we were just talking about people like that. He sent it to me, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Is this fake?" He's like, "No." So I'm trying, and I agree with you, Brent. It does come down to that, and I would be, if there was any way at all to continuously filter things down to where you only see like one or two things a day, and the rest of the time you're just hanging out with your buddies. Like, I think that's one of the things I like about our text chain, is that replaces social media for me a lot. Is I just like talking back and forth with you guys and something like that. I'm feeling connected to the world outside, outside of just my little house. And because I work from home, sometimes I feel like I get myself a little secluded, and I'm in my own little cubby hole here. So I didn't mean to bring too much into it, but yeah, just people should focus on happiness instead of hatred, and people should focus on the good instead of the bad. So that's where I'll leave it at that, because we've got plenty of other fun stuff to talk about. Fellas, I'm going to throw out some bullet points that, hey, and Jason Hatfield, all right, here. I love to dump it all. That is the only way I have met you guys. Yeah. See, you are correct. This is the only way we met D-Doc. I mean, come on.
There are good parts of social media too. It's just a matter of what you're getting out of it. And I mean, like, I'm a content creator too on social media, aside from this. So like, and I do stuff that I get paid for on there as well. But I like to try to keep it genuine. And there are like people like Joey and Ben, and like there's so many good people on social media. It's a matter of not letting yourself get it's like you're hanging out with a group of the people you know, and then you see some weird stuff happening off in the distance, and you can't help but look at it. And that's kind of what all of like the nonsense news is that comes in. You've got all the stuff that you like, but then there's like 75% bullshit being thrown at you while you're with your group of friends that you're trying to ignore. And sometimes
Exactly,
you can't,
yeah.
you can't help but to see it. And then you get sucked in, you know?
Michael Nip is the man. I was just getting ready to say that. If we want to keep to our little selves and have fun and just talk, the Rule of the Galaxy Discord is the way. And Michael Nip, thank you for joining in and thank you for putting it out there. And honestly, all of the people who are on there right now, I have so much fun just opening my phone to see what you guys are all talking about. And I constantly have to tell Alfie, watch what you put in there, my friend. You put some crazy stuff in there. So,
what do you mean? Like he's the entertainment value of the.
I know. Some things that have gone on recently that we haven't really talked about. Clone Wars. Was it Clone Wars or Star Wars overall? Fortnite. Has D-Doc, has your son played that? Has he checked that out? Hopefully that's going well. That's good. The kids are getting a chance to have some Star Wars skins in there.
Oh yeah, it's he's played it. I played it with my one buddy who's a Star Wars fan who works nights. I had 2 nights this week that I was up late because it's so funny. On May the 4th, I know that my buddy gets done work at 12 o'clock at night. May the 4th, it's like 12:30ish. I go on my Xbox, I put on Star Wars Battlefront 2, which that game has been out for like 8 years now, probably. Log on and I see he's on Battlefront 2 and me and him are just in on it. And I haven't talked to him for a little bit and it's like we never left. So that's like the beauty of that's the beauty of Star Wars and gaming. And the Battlefront 2 community just shows up like crazy on May the 4th each year now, and they're begging for them to make Battlefront 3. So that would be a very cool day, the day that happens.
That is awesome. Some other things, I thought we'd see some maybe more announcements, some more things being put out there. There was some good merch in different places and different things related to May the 4th. Always like seeing the different sales everywhere. But, I think we were hoping, we're very hopeful here in this group. We were hoping maybe a little Starfighter sizzle, maybe a little just, pique our interest, maybe before Mando Grogu. It was not. Maybe somewhere we'd see that. Did not happen. Tales of the Jedi Luke. Tales of the Jedi, they were talking about maybe having a Luke series or series related to Luke coming out. And each of the last 2 May the 4th, we've had a Tales of the Jedi, and we didn't. So yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer. I did like some things I saw where Jon Favreau says he wants to inspire a new generation to fall in love with Star Wars. That is positive. Saw where Filoni and Favreau were going to be meeting this week to start their plans and what direction they want to go with things in the Star Wars universe. So that's all positive, good stuff that kind of went on around this. So you mix in, Mando, the little event, Maul finale, some sales going on May the 4th, and then let's talk about Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Celebration. So that was a little bit of craziness there. Yeah, I said, hey, honey, we're going, right? Because all these people around the world that we talk to are thinking of going, whether it's the crew here, some of us here in the crew, whether it's Jason Hatfield, who's here in town, whether it's Mark and Mark from England, whatever. There's plenty of people that are thinking of going. I'd like to go, even if it's just for a day, because I want to see everybody and say, hey, is that an R2?
It is an R2. I'm trying to get to where you can see it.
No, it's a good looking R2. Daggone.
Oh yeah.
That's some great painting on a Star Wars Legion.
That's a tough painting too, Brent. Oof, there's a lot of detail in that.
This one's a small one. It's
real quick, Jason Hatfield says, yes, join us on the Discord, everyone. There's a little bit of everything, and you never know what Alfie may post. Cara Dune photos. Yes.
I logged in the other day and saw that. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. So the fun Alfie adds a spark to the Discord. So we Alfie and D-Doc and I had talked, and I know Brent said it might not be a fit for him. But we had talked about going because it's again, we were talking earlier, it's hard for us to get together, and it takes something like this to plan to try to get together. And what the heck? Lori now likes to travel, and she didn't ever used to want to go to California, but now she's like, I'm in. I want to go to California. So we started planning, and at 3 o'clock, me, D-Doc, and Alfie all logged on. And D-Doc, was it 5:30 when I finally got through? Something like that?
It was because it was right when I had to go to take David to baseball practice. So it was 2.5 hours.
Yeah. So 5:30ish or so, I text him. I'm like, guys, I'm in. And neither one of them were even close to getting in through the queue. So I just said, hey, Lori, do you mind if I just get all 3 of our tickets and these guys just pay me back sometime? She's like, if you're in, get them while you can. If not, they might not get them. And so I did, and we're all good on that. So for anyone listening, we'll Friday, April 2nd, I think. Yes, Friday, April 2nd of next year, we will be in the celebration. We will be there other days, but Friday the 2nd will be in celebration. But we bought the tickets for one day for the 3 of us. Anybody else who wants to come, great. But what, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour later, we got the news that it was sold out.
Yes.
Sold out.
Yes, and we'll be having a live podcast at 3 o'clock with special guest Mark Hamill.
Joe's going to be excited for that.
You know what? I would still absolutely love every minute of it. I would. I would sit there and say, I cannot believe I'm sitting here with Luke Skywalker. I mean, I no matter how angry he has made me recently, I still would be excited to do that. And I would be more than happy to talk to him.
Sorry.
But I couldn't believe it. First of all, the $1,200 one was the first one gone. The 4-day Jedi pass. Then the $400 or $500 4-day pass went away, and they put an announcement while I'm waiting in line. Only single day tickets are available, and I could not believe it. And yeah, Jason Hetfield, I lost out on tickets. Gonna have to go to the secondary market. So my question is this: I didn't think you were allowed to sell them on a secondary market.
Joe, they're gonna sell. You're gonna be able to sell them on a secondary market.
There's
because we don't get the tickets until March.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work, because there's been things with ticket sales recently where artists have been blocking secondary market sales just because ticket pricing has just gotten so out of control. Even standard tickets to anything are out of control anymore.
Yes.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting, as you said, with them shipping in March and it being in April. It's like it's very close to it starting. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Go wait outside and hand the person the tickets? Because I think, what did you say? March 27th is ticket delivery time or something like that? Or am I totally wrong on that? I don't know why March 27th.
I don't know. I don't know. Hold on one second. We got Jason Hetfield saying they'll be out there or just stand on the street corner like the old days of scalping. Well, I'm sure people will be doing that, but there's people selling this stuff secondhand right now for hundreds and thousands of dollars. I mean,
I saw the Jedi Pass selling for $6,000.
I'm not surprised by that
for the week,
and it was $1,200 online. So I'm going to the Foo Fighters in August. Bought my tickets, and on my Ticketmaster thing it says we will release these to you. I think it's days before the event that they actually put them online on my phone, right? Like, they don't even let me have them or have control of them. So it makes it much more difficult for me to do anything with them. So I was shocked. I thought, okay, they're doing it this way, so we really can't do that. And then you guys were sending those things around like, this is going for 1,000. This is going for 6,000. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Not only that, but people were buying stuff in the shop, and they're now posting the stuff from the shop online as well. So
FOMO, people capitalizing on FOMO.
Look, I've already told you guys, I'd go to ICCC this year with everybody. It's my wife's birthday. We're not going to ICCC for my wife's birthday. I'd go to Steel City Con, but D-Doc's already got a family vacation plan. I mean, there's conflicts. This was just one that we could figure out well in advance and try to do it, and make a little vacation out of it as well. But I was totally shocked. And what I'm seeing all kinds of people right now saying it's not Lucasfilm, it's not Star Wars, it's Reed Pop, the company who's running the convention. I don't know.
I mean, what is up with that though? I sat at my computer for 1 hour and saw that thing move like not even 2 inches, and it was like a big bar across my computer. I'm like, what? I'm like, it was funny because Meg knows I'm forgetful, and she had to run out and do something, and she texted me and goes, "Did you get in for those tickets? Because I've had my phone open on it and the thing isn't moving." Because she remembered to get on the tickets for me at 3:00. And I was down here too, but I got on at probably like 3:05. And I was just like, I don't know what's going on, but this little guy who's walking is not moving at all for me. And I'm like, how is it not just like you clicked the link, the tickets aren't sold out, you get in? Like, I don't know why you would have to wait that many hours to get your tickets.
No idea. Brent,
I mean,
any
maybe
thoughts?
it's a way to prevent bots. Like maybe it's like a bot proof system where like bots can't just go buy up all the tickets for it.
I think you guys are underestimating the number of people trying to get tickets.
It is international. That is one thing I was considering. Is it's like it's not like this is just a United States thing. Like people are going to be flying in from other countries to go.
And you also have to understand, like, what is the maximum capacity for the convention center that they're having it in? So how many tickets can they sell per day? So how many tickets are available? How many people are in line? And then did they have a ticket limit? If they don't have a ticket limit, then you have to wait for them to be able to do it. Then you also have to wait for, like Ticketmaster, you can only have so many. I'm guessing you can only have so many people. Otherwise, you oversell and then become a fire hazard for that. So looking at it from like the business standpoint and not the fan standpoint, there has to be a control factor and there has to be a release valve. So you can only have a certain number of people in line. So you make sure you don't oversell what you have. But I'm telling you right now, when you say bot farm, like I just saw what he had to say, it's not just bot farm. I mean, yeah, it's bot farms, or it's like the smart people writing the code to be able to create bots to be able to buy them and then resell them. It's the American way, man. It is the Star Wars fandom American way. Because anything you can try to make money off of, if you are a Star Wars fan, you're going to try to capitalize and make money off of.
They got to figure out a way to fix our ticketing system as a society, though, because to me, it's become such a disaster. The secondary market is insane. It's like, I remember my wife wanted to see a Zach Bryan concert, and I missed like the tickets going on sale, and I was like, oh, let me see if I can get tickets to that. It was like nosebleeds. Nothing was below $500.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm starting to see these articles talking about artists getting the blue dot. What do they call it? The blue dot flu or some crap like that, where it's like the blue dots are the open seats. Where there's artists who are canceling shows recently because they're not selling seats. The problem is they're charging too much for a concert in these huge stadiums where you can hardly see what the hell is going on. Like it was like Lincoln Financial Field. It's like a 70,000 plus seat stadium for the nosebleeds over $500. It's like, it's crazy. I mean, the tickets for things have just gotten off the charts.
I love it. Hatfield, go back standing in line at Karma. No online sales. Karma Records is big here. It was big here in Indianapolis when we had records, D-Doc. See, if you have 12 kids like D-Doc, it's nice, but only scalpers are buying 20 tickets at a time. Yeah, 20. Joe, that's not nice talking about your brother like that. He doesn't have 12 kids.
Hey, Joe just had his second child 1 week ago. Joe just had a baby.
Love it. Love it. Well, cool. Well, I've burned up all those crazy thoughts and ideas and all that other stuff going on. Anything you guys want to hit before we hit Maul? How are the Flyers doing, D-Doc?
It's 2-1. They're losing. It's tough.
Okay. It's tough. Look, you know me, I'm Mr. Let's go through the checklist of the shows and everything, but you know what? We're an hour in. Let's do. Oh, here we go. Try to slide Devin in as a name, but the wife didn't take it. Love it. Love it. Good one, Joe. Yeah. And let up a shorthanded goal. Well, that'll happen when you're shorthanded.
It was brilliant.
Or were they on the power play?
We were on a power play, and it's what should have been a 5-minute non-releasable, and the refs took about 5 minutes to make up their damn mind, and they just made it a regular 2-minute penalty, and then literally, like, there's all this commotion, refs arguing all this stuff, and then the Canes win a face-off and go score a man-down goal. So it was seriously unbelievable, but it's okay. I didn't react to it. You guys wouldn't have even known it happened. I'm doing good here.
There's our hockey update of the evening, and we'll get more if they score. I'm sure to tie it up. So we had episode 9, Strange Allies. And then number 10, when you originally clicked on it, do you guys notice it didn't have a title?
No title.
And the title was added afterwards. After you watched it, the title came up, which was great. But the title ended up being The Dark Lord. And just 30,000 foot view on this thing, I will tell you, I really enjoyed both episodes. I liked that it left enough meat on the bones to where that season 2 has some directions and some things to go. We toyed with the idea. Would Devin turn? Would she not turn? I thought she turned very well, and I love the manipulating behind the scenes to make it happen. I love the original trilogy and prequel trilogy music being mixed in. The visuals of 2 Jedi, a Force user, and 2 Inquisitors all fighting at one time. That one scene where all blades lock at one time was incredible. And seeing the end of episode 9 and leading into everything that took place in episode 10, I'm a big fan of the old Star Wars books. And when Vader came out of those shadows to end episode 9, that was a direct take off the book Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which had Vader doing that on the cover with Luke and Leia looking at him in the distance. And so that was fantastic for me. There was enough loss, but then there was enough mystery and enough did that happen or did that not happen to where I'm excited for season 2, and I can't wait to see where it goes. So, fellas, you start talking about things that you like, didn't like, and we'll go from there. Maul, episodes 9 and 10.
Spybot, man.
Freaking
Spybot. Really? They had to do Spybot? That killed me, man.
It's Spybot dirty, huh?
They did such a good job on that scene of it being like, of him like doing the lightsaber throw and kind of being like, oh, he's gonna take out the transport, and then Spybot just got sliced. I was like, no. I'm like, I needed this guy for another season. I mean, they killed everybody. They killed his entire crew in that scene.
Yes, here we go. The 4 lightsaber lock was one of the best Star Wars moments ever. Spybot in Toxic Waste, no less. Yeah, no. I
mean, how crazy was that crossing scene? It was crazy. There's what is it? There's a scene in it reminded me of a scene in Harry Potter Deathly Hallows, right? Isn't there the one part where Dumbledore is there and Harry has to do some kind of task? I haven't seen it in forever. Either way, it reminded me of that. And oh God, I can't think of it. There's something in was it
in the one before that where he was still, because he died at the end of 6, right? Or 7?
Or maybe it's 6. Maybe
Yeah.
it's oh my god, I can't even think of the name of 6 right now. It's
The
the
prince, the
Half-Blood
blood
Prince.
prince. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like that pool or something at the end of it, which I haven't seen Half-Blood Prince in a while or read it. So yeah, it was right when they got there and I saw that they were gonna have to put that transport cart back and forth. I was just like, this is going to be very interesting. I mean, there was some brutal fighting in that scene.
There
There were
was.
some tough deaths in it too for an animated show. I mean, you've got daggers getting thrown into stormtroopers' heads and guys like just being like, screw it, I'm sacrificing myself and just diving into the muck with them. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. That's why when I was watching episode 9, I'm like, what is 10 going to be like?
Yeah.
And they gave us the answer at the end of 9. I mean,
it was good all the way around. I think Brent has brought up this point before, and well, I know he has. Did we need Vader in episode 9 and 10? No, we didn't need. I mean, it was pretty cool, and they could have fought the Inquisitors and gone on to, at the end of 10 or the beginning of next season, seeing Vader come in because they knew he's going to get Maul. But man, once he did hit those one-handed slashes he was doing just of anger and of power, not saying a word the entire time he was on screen, just breathing and just slashing the heck out of everything. That was full on what everybody expect to see of Vader and his power, post Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of always seen Vader when he kept hacking down. I think that was in 10 when he just kept hacking. Yeah, one-handed hack, just kept hacking and hacking and hacking. Yeah, I'd say that is Rogue One, like peak Vader. I still like Obi-Wan Vader when he like snapped the neck as he was walking to Obi-Wan to fight Obi-Wan. I like that part too. I jokingly told them, Doc, when we saw The Mandalorian and Grogu, that I hated it. It was terrible. It was the worst ever, and because of what Joe just said, I don't think you need Vader. Like to me, I want. Okay, so here's the soapbox. I want stories that are new and felt new. Now, yes, Maul is old, but everything about that was new. Everything about that story was new. You had the tie with Maul and being old. You had the tie with Dryden Voss into the world. We're already firmly entrenched in that world. You, as a Disney and as a fandom, I get it. Like, it's kind of like Luke on the walkway in episode 2 of The Mandalorian. If you're going to have a Jedi save Grogu, it has to be Luke. If you're going to have someone come in and be aggressive, it has to be Vader. But it didn't have to be Vader. I think if you just leave the Inquisitors there, to fight against Maul and the other two, I think you're going to get the same result. Now, I think Alfie is the one that said it, that like Vader brings another level of fear, another level of imposing his will, and I can hear that. Like I'm not opposed to hearing that, but you could have had the Inquisitors kill Devon's master, and I think had the same emotional impact without having Vader there. So I don't think it was required, and all that does is then bring the Skywalker saga, continue to bring the Skywalker saga back. Some people love Andor, didn't have anything really to do with the Skywalker saga. Some people didn't like Andor, and I think subconsciously it's because it didn't have a connection to the Skywalker saga. If I would like to see us break away from that so we can be free to do stories without Skywalkers in it. And here you go, throwing a Skywalker back into this story, right? It was all the way up until these 2 episodes, built the tension. Everybody loves the story. and you would have still liked it. I don't know if it would have had the same impact on the fandom as it did talking to people who watched it, but I don't think it's required. And that's just kind of where I come from on it. Did I love it? Yeah. Was it cool? Yeah. So don't get that twisted, right? I just don't think that it was a requirement to have him in there.
I agree. It's not a requirement, but it's like, I mean, we were eating well, and they brought in another entree for us on top of us eating well. Like I'll say, with the Vader coming in, and also to me, it's like, to me, Maul is still is pretty much still a big representation of the Skywalker saga, because like I don't know, he just still was kind of like a beacon of that to me.
Sure.
So
we already had a Skywalker saga thing in there. Did we have to add another Skywalker saga thing?
To me, it works because you're seeing this version of Vader as him being the hunter for Palpatine that we've never gotten to see, where it's just like he's the last guy who's getting sent in when all the other guys can't get the job done. Where it's like, all right, these guys are screwing around. They can't get the job done. All right, I'm going to have to send you in there now to finish the job, which, like, I think we're going to probably see some more of that. And I mean, Vader didn't, what I like about it, Vader didn't talk at all in it. He didn't say a word. So he just was there to kill and breathe. That's all he was there to do. And I
think is great. I think that is what that builds that tension. That allows that tension to be there.
Yeah. So I think it worked for the show. It did not feel forced at all to me. And you know what I'll say? I know a guy who I know him from high school. Haven't seen him in a very long time. He's a Star Wars fan, and he started watching this Maul show, and he has not been a huge fan of a lot of modern Star Wars. And he texted me the night of that finale and said, I've been waiting to see something like this, like since I was a kid, where it's like this show is drawing some people back in who may be slightly on the outs. And it was good. It was well done. It wasn't, to me, it was not forced. It worked out. It made sense. And I think that they know what the heck they're doing with the writing on this show. Whoever's in that writing room knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Some things I wanted to point out real quick. One, we see Ahsoka style fighting by Maul. He splits the blades. Now some people say it was Star Killer the way he was holding blades, which it did have some of that, but it had a lot of look of Ahsoka, especially when he had the two blades split and he put it behind his back like Ahsoka. So that was one thing that was very cool. I saw somebody on YouTube saying he might have been in season 7 of Clone Wars taking some cues on what she was doing there, taking a little bit of that from her. 2, at what point do people think that Maul realizes who Vader is? Because he said this is no Inquisitor, but does he know that is the apprentice who he knew was Anakin Skywalker, right? He had already told Ahsoka that was going to be that. And then 3, when Vader started really going off on Eco, it was right after Eco did Obi-Wan Kenobi's pose. Did you notice that he did the Obi-Wan Kenobi pose and went at him? And then all of a sudden Vader just starts slashing over and over again. So those 3 things really stood out to me. As Maul had some really cool whether Star Killer or Ahsoka fighting styles. Did Anakin realize who Maul was? Because let's face it, when he was a little kid, Maul almost chopped him and ran over him with his stuff. Or was that too far back for him to remember? So there's a lot just in that right there. What are your thoughts on any of those topics?
Didn't Devin also take on the Obi-Wan like 2-finger point? I thought Devin also did.
She might, yes. Yeah.
Which was like, to me, I was like, oh, Obi-Wan. Like that, I mean, that was when you said it, I was like, didn't Devin also do that? So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's there's so much to take in from the Flyers went down 4-1. Just brutal. Just brutal. All right. Well, I don't need to look at that anymore.
Turn that off.
Yeah, the Obi-Wan stance, I absolutely noticed that. And I thought they did a good job with Maul, especially for the animation, like the look on his face. It had you as a fan wondering, does he sense that that's Anakin? Like when he was
Exactly.
like looking at him, because he's kind of like, this is not your normal guy here. Like, hold on, what the hell is going on here? He looked confused, which is why I can't wait for the start of season 2, because it's going to be starting off right after they just got their asses kicked, you know? So yeah, it's interesting. And I mean, RIP Eco, he went way longer in this series than I thought he was going
10
to.
episodes. Yeah.
Hold on. He got stabbed. He's not dead.
That's true. Maul gave him that little force push into. He sensed
Yes.
Devin in trouble. He gave that little force push into him, and he kind of looked back like, "Whoa!" Like, and Lawson saw it.
That's where I was going to go, because Brent, you said he's not dead. But my real question is Rook dead and is Lawson dead? Because we don't see either one of them die. And I saw somebody say, how cool would it be? Brender was the only one who saw the force push by Maul of Eco. Now he could come back if he's still alive, if he's whatever, he could say he actually helped get him killed. You know? So just my thoughts. Do you guys think both of them are dead? I'm okay if they are, because I really like Riley being upset, and we got to find out what his storyline is. But what are your thoughts?
I think Eco is definitely dead. I think Lawson
I
is
agree.
still alive. I think Brandon Lawson's alive. I think he's going to be shown in the aftermath of whatever's happening on that planet, and there's going to be a storyline of him trying to find his way back to Riley in the second season. I don't think Lawson's dead. I think he's too good of a character to kill off in that first season. I do think Rook Cass is dead, though.
So was Ned Stark, D-Doc. So
True.
was Ned Stark.
True, but to me, I needed to see Lawson get killed. And I didn't see him get killed. I saw him go in there with a minigun blazing.
I saw him be a badass. Like, let's not talk about how like he went in with a Z6 at his hip. Like, go.
That was fantastic. The saying goodbye to his son and taking that and doing that himself was fantastic. I'm going to catch up real quick on a couple quick things. Hyperspace Heroes, what's up, guys? Did I miss Toy Talk? We did no Toy Talk tonight, really. Lightsaber fights were all different and each one solid. Yes, thank you. Jason Hatfield says they're going to reset the Skywalker timeline, of course. Joe Doc, I loved having Vader, because we never got to see how much of a badass he was, except Rogue One. As we just talked about, Joe Doc was asking the same questions. Is he dead? Now we've got more questions. Paula, 1966. Thanks, Paula, for joining. Do you and your friends think that the pink Twi'lek Devin will become Darth Talon?
Yes.
I think that's going to be. I think she'll be a variation. Yeah.
Is she gonna lick the lightsaber blade?
Brent, I'm gonna save that for our Discord channel. I don't know if she'll get the tattoos like Talon, but she should form that character, because let's face it, her eyes and her voice changed so bad when she said, amazing. I'm gonna kill them all. Whoa.
Yeah, that was so good.
Yes. Hatfield, only issue I have with Vader, and I said it Monday night, they show him with more power than he uses in any of the original trilogy. They have made him so much more powerful than the OT Vader. I get you. Paula, again, do you and your friends think Keanu Reeves would play a great Darth Revan? Honestly, I don't know if we'll ever get a Darth Revan, but I would take that. I don't know about you guys.
We've talked about that several times.
Yep. Last but not least, Hyperspace Heroes. Vanessa Marshall said Rook is dead. She said Vader force choked her and then ripped her lungs out through her throat. I saw, hyperspace.
saw that.
I saw. They said, if we take you out, how do you want? And that's what she told them to do. So you are correct on that. But so many good things, guys. I've got a whole list of them here. What else? I mean, we know people could be alive that we think are dead. We think Devin's going to turn into maybe Darth Talon. I think how cool would it be if season 2 is him training her up so much that him and her face Vader in season 2 in the last episode or whatever. He takes Devin out because let's face it, she's not there during the original trilogy. And that's where he gets beat to living crap to where he's sitting on Malachor during Rebels as a Vader beats the heck out of him and he can't do any other fighting or whatever. So give me some more of your wild and crazy thoughts here.
So mine goes to Hatfield. He said that he isn't a huge fan of them making Vader more powerful. Well, if you go through age and history, right? Like this is prior to the original trilogy timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's not as old and feeble, or he's not, I guess he has more rage at the time. And so I can see him, and I'm okay with him actually being stronger during this time frame because he's a little bit younger and he's angrier.
I agree.
So
I think you called that one right. And let's face it, if you're in a bacta tank every day, that's going to suck the life out of your body as well, right?
Yeah, but so did he go into the? I mean, was he in the bacta tank every day?
From what I had seen in the past, he had to go in there all the time because he was just a freaking mess.
Got it.
But yeah,
so that was my answer to that one. Like I think, I agree with you that he is less powerful, but to me, it makes sense that he is less powerful. I can justify that, I guess, because I justify that as him being a little bit younger, and being a little bit stronger and still angrier because it's still connected to all of the crap that happened. Once all of this goes away, I don't think he has the same level of anger, and there's nothing for him to be angry about. So if you talk about it, I'm listening to Darth Bane right now. So all of the dark side force and like where the pain and stuff like that come from gives him his power. So there's a possibility that because he's not battling anything anymore, Jedi are essentially gone. There's nothing like, so if you're going to the original trilogy, what is Vader's motivation for being angry? He doesn't necessarily have one because theoretically we found as many Jedi as possible. We don't think there's any more that are out there, and we basically have control. And we have so what do I have to be angry about? So I don't have to be as strong. I do lose some of my strength because of how angry I'm not.
Did any of you guys see the quote from Sam Witwer answering a fan's question about Marak on Twitter?
No.
Or Marek? Someone said something to him along the lines of like, how is Marak like so badass in this show, but is easily defeated in Ahsoka? And Sam Witwer commented and said, Marak was a lot stronger before he died, with like a winky face.
Love it.
So there's like indication that he could die in this show and possibly be brought back to life because he did turn into like a spirit when Ahsoka killed him in the Ahsoka show. So he could be like a remake, essentially.
Morgan Elsbeth brought him back to life or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Real quick, I hadn't noticed, but Alfie sent a message. Hey, just my 2 cents, but in my absence, I would like to remind you that when you talk Maul, please reiterate the canon fact that Anakin was obsessed with Obi-Wan's duel with Maul, and he trained endlessly to replicate it and to be able to duel Maul. Bro has been getting ready for this fight for a long time. I did not know that, but Alfie, of course, our book of Alfie.
Well, you know where he probably got that information from?
A book.
A book.
There is a canon comic book that Anakin would train against a hologram of Darth Maul constantly.
Nice.
So I saw like some of the clips from that.
Hyperspace bringing in some heavy duty here. Marat got thrown off that bridge, which he did. It's implying his death. One thing that I read up on, because I did not know this. Obviously, we end up in Malachor in Rebels. It's an ancient Sith, place. From what I saw, Palpatine would take Maul there and train with him and bring down this force, this Sith force power. But there was a tool, and notice everything took two people, right? Him and Ezra had to get into everything. Palpatine let him know there was a tool there, and it was like to petrify or turn you to stone or whatever an individual. And Maul, that's why he goes back there, is because he'd been trained there. It was in books and comics, Brent. He's been trained there by Palpatine. He knew about that tool, and that is why he was back there in Rebels to try to get him to help him open that up and get to that tool to see if he could stop Vader or Palpatine or what have you. So just throwing that out there. So crazy stuff. I really like the family dynamic in here, because Riley said, pardon me, let's look at the bright side. This is the most time you and I have spent together in a long while, when they were on that journey and then on that skiff. I thought that was really cool. And then when he handed him a gun, he said, be careful. Remember what I taught you. So we have some backstory again that Brander had said, hey, man, you know what? I'm going to keep you. I'm going to teach you how to shoot a gun, keep you safe, all that kind of stuff. So it was cool. D-Doc, you brought up one of the coolest scenes that I really loved in the acid pits. That brother of Maul takes those 3 blades, throws 3 of them separately. They go right in the face of each of those troopers, and then he throws himself on them and dies, suicide, in the acid. So I thought that was really cool. Yes, Hyperspace, I did say tool. How are the Inquisitors so good with the double blades? Does pre-sliced in 2 Maul destroy them? Jodoc, I don't know. That 2 blades is what everybody's doing these days. All the cool kids are doing it. 2 blades. Anything on that goofiness I brought up?
Pre-Maul with no legs or torso connected to each other. Does he kick their ass? I think he does. I mean, and his legs haven't. You know what I've noticed in this is they've really focused on them targeting Maul's weakness, which is his legs. They've showed them screwing up his legs multiple times in this show, and you can tell it really pisses him off.
Yes, it does. I like that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Like he's held back by it. It really bothers him because it's like he knows that he could be better if he didn't have that problem. But
and he keeps messing with his knee. He keeps like shaking out his knee after he gets hit.
Yeah. He needs to get a full-time mechanic on his crew, which he doesn't have any crew anymore. Other than what's his name, who survived the whole show, the little rat
Vario.
Vario survived the whole thing. Man, I one thing that we talked about that I feel like the fact that Devin's voice changed like that was so big. I know we talked about it, but it was like that was a scene that I replayed when it ended. I went back and replayed it like 3 times because I was like, I need to hear that voice change again because that was crazy. Is she gonna bleed a lightsaber like we saw in the oh, never mind, I won't say the word.
All right, Voldemort. No, she's not gonna bleed it. She was given a red lightsaber.
Yes.
Well,
she kept it. You see, she held on to it.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Is Maul not going to fight with 2 blades anymore? Is he going to just be like, all right, that's yours?
Right. Exactly. I think he has to. Couple things again, we'll go back to Vader versus 2 Jedi and Maul. it's almost like he was just toying with them. He's doing it mostly one-handed, and he was just making it look easy. I love across the series. How many times did ceilings get pulled down? Seemed like that was a big thing on this series. And then, here, Maul says these words. Um, the Dark Lord, our enemy, knows how Jedi fight. So he's got to, right? He's got to know that's Anakin. If he's saying this is the Dark Lord and he knows how Jedi fight, that's a giveaway. And I really like that he broke down and told Devin about Palpatine. He told her what really happened. Palpatine slaughtered the Jedi. He trained me. He threw me away. Right? I mean, he was pretty open and honest with her about how that all happened. So
That's all part of the manipulation, though, Joe.
correct.
Like it's like he's doing that. He knows why he's doing that. He's doing that because she feels like she's getting tossed aside, and she was tossed aside. So
Yep.
he's doing it as a way to recruit her. That was all a calculated. He wasn't just being open and honest with her. That was part of his manipulation.
I agree. Two Boots taking the big gun. How cool was that? That was
awesome.
a really cool scene. Who was that? Heavy in Clone Wars? He always used to carry around that gun. That was pretty cool to see him taking that big gun and shooting down a shuttle. Right? Did he take down an Imperial shuttle?
Yeah, he took down the Lambda shuttle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I'm surprised Riley could recognize him without his boots.
Good call. Good throwback.
Two Boots had a good episode, episode 9 and 10 as well, where like
Yes,
he really kind of showed some skills, and he showed that he can be pretty badass too. So,
Eco did tell Maul while they were fighting Vader, if we work together, we can take him down. And wasn't that what Obi-Wan said to Anakin when they were going to do Dooku in Attack of the Clones? It was in the cave, yeah. And Anakin said, nope. Went charging up and got sizzled and thrown into the wall. Trying to see what other things we need. A lot. Oh, man. When Eco gets killed, and you talked about the voice change and the eye change for Devin, did you guys hear the theme from when Anakin was holding his mom before he went out and killed the Tusken Raiders?
no, I didn't actually.
Oh, you know that da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, that theme played after she saw Eco die.
That's wild. That's deep.
It is. Was Vader that powerful, or was he strategic? First thing he did was cripple Maul further. Yes. He knew how Jedi fight, and he has a Jedi ability of precognition. His attacks were basic and reinforced. Yeah, by his cybernetics. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it was like he was just like a craftsman, right? He was just following the motions, boom, boom, boom. He knew exactly what they were going to do.
We had a force lightsaber stop with both of them again, kind of similar to the Kenobi series, if I'm not mistaken. That happened in Kenobi where Vader used the force on the used it against Reva or Reva, not Reva.
The one that he stabbed in the stomach. Right.
Yeah, when they're just doing that force hold on a lightsaber, which looks badass when they're doing it. Maul and Vader exchanged those, and it was kind of like, oh, wow.
So where does Riley go from here? Because Lawson's speech to him, I tried, Two Boots, get him to his mother, and then love you, son, then took the big gun. Do they look right now? Two Boots and Riley are with Maul and Devin. Devin's turned, right? Devin at the end of this says, all right, I'm ready. So are they pretty much sacrificial lambs in there, or are they going to be able to walk away scot-free?
I don't think Maul, because Maul was earlier in the series, Maul was willing to let things go that don't have anything to do with his plan.
Mm-hmm.
He was allowing things to walk. He was allowing things that didn't impact him. So I don't think Riley and Two Boots have anything to do with his plan. So unless Riley wants to join Maul, I don't necessarily see him doing anything other than just getting to his mom or getting let go once that happens. I don't know if his story continues, but then again, I'm also very simplistic, and I also don't think things through. Where like maybe Riley is Paz Vizsla. Like I mean, I'm not trying to like make any larger connection. I just think that like with Maul, the track record Maul had in this show was that he was only going to mess with you if you either crossed him at some point or it was going to benefit him. If he didn't see a value or a benefit from you, he was cool with letting you go.
Riley's got to
go ahead, Joe.
I already know who Riley is. You sparked my interest, Brent. We're gonna have fun. He had to change his name, go in hiding after all this. He becomes Biggs Darklighter, and then Darth Vader ends up killing him in the Death Star trench when he's after he's been hanging out with Luke. There you go.
No, I think he's Tuca. I think he's Tuca. He becomes Tuca and a bounty hunter, and survives to the Mandalorian timeline, and is on Tatooine and gives Fennec Shan the bounty to go get. You know what I'm talking about, right? Tuca, the guy, the Han Solo, like Timu Han Solo that was on
Toro, Toro Calican or something like that. Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Brent, D-Doc.
Here's the kicker: is maybe I just pick up these vibes, but Riley has a crush on Devin.
Absolutely,
he's got a crush on her, and I think she cares about him too in a weird way because they're two kids who have kind of had tough upbringings where they're two different stories, but two like I guess teenagers the same age, tough upbringing, find each other, think each other are awesome. Like so, Devin kind of might feel a type of way for him as well. So Maul is going to have a hard time with that because he's going to have to keep him around for that reason. You got to keep Devin happy.
We do know that Jedi interact with Muggles. I mean, Leia interacts with Han. Yeah. Anakin interacts with Padme. I mean, yeah. How cool was Vader catching the boulders falling and slicing his way out of it? Exactly. You know what? When you're talking about Force users, that's kind of what you want to see, right? Things being thrown at them and them slicing them up and launching them. Yep, just launching it. Hyperspace. Riley will become Darth Talon's cabin boy. Let's get that ship going. Okay. If this ship's a rocking, don't bother knocking.
So, Doc, what did you say? You got to make Devin happy?
Yeah. Maul's going to have to because that's his new apprentice.
No, sir. That's a Jedi way of thinking, and that's only because I'm still listening to Darth Bane. Darth Bane would kill him to make her angry because the power comes from the anger. So, like Maul, like if you're thinking that they are shipping, they're God, I whistled just like the Family Guy.
It did actually. It was like a perfect whistle.
That was Herbert the Pervert there for a second. Listen here, Shunny.
If you think they're gonna have a relationship, I can't even do the whistle. Actually,
I can't do it either. It just happens. So I think like, if you're thinking that they're going to be shipped, they're not going to survive. Riley is not going to survive long because I feel like he is going to then pull her away from him.
It won't be all sunshine and rainbows with Devin's relationship with Maul after this. That's definitely going to be true, but it'll be interesting. I mean, I see why they renewed season 2 immediately before the show even came out.
Yeah, I look. I'm sure. I know there's a million things we've not even covered on this, but overall, I mean, it's just really well written. It looks great. It's got good stories. It's Yeah. And unlike JJ with a mystery box, this has mystery. What did happen? What didn't happen? Who's alive? Who's dead? All that. But it makes you want to see what's going to happen in season 2. I want to see where it goes. And again, I'm not a I'm not a big believer that you need to have a series like Clone Wars that was 7 seasons long. I think 3 or 4 seasons at the most. You get in, you get out, right? You hit all the high points. You make a good short story, boom, go, and you move on to the next one. So I don't know if it has a necessity for that because Rebels takes place 15 years after, 15 or 16 years after Revenge of the Sith and 3 or 4 years before New Hope. This was 1 year after Revenge of the Sith. I don't know that we need to drag this thing all the way out to Rebels. I think it's fine in the time frame it is. Give it 2, 3, 4 seasons and let's go. Don't ruin a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be my guess. If I had to guess, 3 seasons is what I would go with. Was Bad Batch 3 seasons?
Yes, Bad Batch was 3.
I would go 3. I think
Okay.
it's worth. I think it's worth 3.
Rebels was 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
I'm good with
Devin's
that.
character is so interesting and good though that it's like they've got room to play with it, and it's like this is where it comes down to like some of the discourse in Star Wars community and everything, where people say everybody's just like a hater of whatever. It's like Devin's character was just felt so effortlessly written and blended into this and just was awesome. You cared about her story. She was badass. You have questions about who she is still. You want to learn more about her. It was just perfect character writing for her. So I'm really excited to see where they go with it. You know, you felt like you cared about Devin's character like 3 episodes into the show. You know, it was like they did a very good job with it. So
I saw somebody posted the screen time per character, how many minutes on screen each character was. The show is called Maul, but Devin had more screen time than Maul.
interesting.
Maul was second, Devin was first. Joe Doc has a good statement here. These shows are giving me what the rebellion needed, hope, and hopefully Mandu Grogu hits. I would agree with you, Jojo, we had some icy lights. Sorry you couldn't be there. We'll have to connect on that. Any other thoughts you guys want to hit on Mando before we shut down 379 of the Rule of the Galaxy podcast? Things that stood out to you.
Yeah, one thing that really did stand out to me, and I hate to have to bring it up, and I love Jobu, and I love Pedro Serrano.
Mm-hmm.
His voice did not match his character.
Interesting.
I never bought that voice coming from that character.
Just wait for the Joe Doc comment to come in on the
Does he agree?
here. Yes.
What kind of voice would you have liked to have heard for that?
I don't see him as being that deep of a voice. I don't know who I would like. Let me think about that one for a minute while we finish and see if I don't have an answer. It's just every time I heard him talk, I was like, that's not right. That's just not right.
That's exactly what my brother said to me on the phone. Like almost word for word, Brent. Like he was just saying, I don't dislike the character. He was
100%.
He was just like, to me, the voice just doesn't match him. And I was like, well, maybe it's because you've heard his voice so often on commercials and everything that like you're subconsciously hearing that commercial voice. It worked for me. I get it. I totally get what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but
I don't think so. I'm not on J-Doc's version on that. Like, I'm not saying that I think I'm watching a commercial. That's not where I'm at. I'm just like, that just doesn't fit. Like, I mean, you see, like, you guys all know people. When you see somebody, you have an expectation of what the voice is going to sound like. And then when they start talking like this, you're like, oh, in your head, like sometimes you have that that visual reaction, but like the voice just doesn't match his stature. It doesn't match who I see him. A raspy aged voice, sure. I mean, I don't know. It just give me this. It doesn't match the character to me.
I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to email Mark Thompson because he emails with me pretty regularly. You know, if I reach out with a question, he's quick to respond. I'm going to ask him if he looked at that character, and I'm just going to say, what voice would you have done that in? Would you send me a quick snippet of what voice you would have done that character in? Because I want to hear what he has to say.
Even though he's a reptile and a reptilian type species, I don't think it has to have like a Trandoshan like to it. It doesn't have to. I think it needed to be more not as deep. Like I just felt it was way too deep.
Yes, that's true.
Yes,
Rudy Vario was great.
I agree. Look, you're probably right. That one voice stood out, but everybody else, their voices, their characters, all that matched up. But yeah, I'm
like if you would have put Ludi Vario's voice on the Master, I think you would probably been fine, and then put the Master's voice on Ludi Vario. It just wouldn't work.
True.
Hear the Allstate guy with Ludi Vario. Oh, Dragon Boss just called him. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the tough part as a actor, like joining a campaign like that, where your voice is used for a lot of stuff like that, where it's like people can't help but to hear that, you know, that's where Allstate stand, you know, they just can't help but to hear that when you're doing it. I think it was really cool that he was involved with this, though. That's where like I thought he was going to be a 3-episode character when the show started. I did not think we were going to see a season 10 death of him.
I almost feel like if they didn't have permission from James Earl Jones and his family to use his voice and to, you know, basically AI his voice for everything in the future, I think maybe he could have pulled that off. He could in the future pull off a Vader voice.
True.
If he really worked on his tone and everything, he's got the depth in that voice, the tenor. So,
and I'll go back to, I think they made the right choice with him not talking.
Oh, I agree.
I think if you go forward with Vader, he needs to be cameo with no voice to give that just imposing menace.
The fear. Yeah.
And that's what Filoni said they were going for. Was he said Anakin's trapped in there somewhere, and it's Vader has taken full control. So like it's not Anakin that you're seeing, it's Darth Vader. Which I thought that Adam Bray had an interesting retort to that quote, where he said he doesn't like the idea of Filoni saying like, well, Anakin's kind of not in there anymore. It's just Vader's taken over, where like Adam Bray was kind of saying like, that is Anakin and he needs to take responsibility for the mistakes he made. And you can't just say, well, like, oh, my split personality is taken over. Now I'm just Darth Vader. And, you know, the guy who did all the good stuff is gone now. It's like, well, yeah, you are responsible for some of the decisions that you made. So you can't just say like, oh, like Anakin's not in there, which I thought was an interesting take from Adam Bray.
Yeah. No, I like it. Look, he's a guy who beats to the sound of his own drum, and I love that about him. But he definitely has some good thoughts and comments. If you check out the recent show, he's got plenty to say. So he's an interesting guy. But guys, we've now gone pretty much 2 hours. So yeah.
We were going to sum it up, and then I drop a nugget that I don't like the voice of the Master. We go for another 30 minutes on the voice of the
Master. Guys, I thank you for being along on the ride on the Maul train here that we've been on. I think we talked about, you know, the train was rolling down the track. We were all jumping on the hype train. I feel like it hit. I feel like the series hit. It tickled our fancies and got us where we wanted to be with Star Wars stuff.
One
And
of these like this big.
it's a beautiful R2. Brent's still showing off his R2D2 art that he's making right now.
Looks great.
And now, guess what? In just a short time, we'll be at the movies.
I'm ready for it.
I am too.
It's just gonna be another TV show. I don't know if I'll put another big screen.
And I have a 3,000 piece Jango Fett UCS Slave One Lego set showing up at my house tomorrow.
Good. Oh my gosh, Brent. That's a lot to work on right there, Brent. That's awesome.
I mean, so that's the whole lot. If you could see
And I am going to start. I'll show you guys. Lori is going to help me make a picture frame with all of our Star Wars related things. So I'm going to get pictures of us, of the people we met,
Let's
and
go.
I'm going to put them in there. If I can get it done right, I'm going to try to get each one of us a frame with all of us together and meeting people and all that. So I'll start working on that soon. So
That's awesome.
we don't keep enough pictures. They're all on our phones. We gotta have some up on the walls. So, guys, thank you so much to the people who've been along for the ride. Thank you. We appreciate it. Again, follow us on YouTube, like and subscribe. Follow us on all podcast platforms, Rule the Galaxy or Rule the Galaxy SW everywhere. Email us, rulethegalaxysw@gmail.com. We will be back soon with chapter 380 as we prep for Mando and Grogu. So, till next time, may the Force be with you.
this is the way.